All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 TV show in the history of the universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing the latest novel by Michael Connelly, Desert Stars. It is part of the Harry Bosch series and also part of the Renee Ballard series. So, I've got all of the Michael Connelly novels over here. We will pan through my library and I will show you my entire Michael Connelly book collection is right there. Got them all. Probably one of my top 3 favorite mystery thriller writers ever is Michael Connelly. Love his stuff. And he's one of, when I buy one, this just came out, and came out about a week or so ago. I read it a few days after it came out, dropping the review now. Let's talk about the cover artwork first, because I love graphic design and cover illustration. Again, just another elegant cover. All the Michael Connelly books get pretty classy looking covers. This is it's called The Desert Star. A nice desert scene. Nice bold typeface, wonderful font. We look around, we get a back. Sometimes the picture of the author is on the back, but we don't get it. We get a little tiny picture of the author right there. Anyway, let's talk about the book. Harry Bosch, one of my favorite detectives of all time. Michael Connelly, just a great, grim, gritty urban writer. Just all of his books are set in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a character in the novels. Los Angeles and the setting is just a huge character in all of his novels, and we get that same feeling and flavor with this book. Harry Bosch himself, I just realized reading this book, after some 24 odd Harry Bosch novels, we realized the guy's, he's a Vietnam veteran. Even in the first book, Black Echo and Black Ice, he was just, these came out in the late 80s, early 90s. He was a Vietnam veteran. He was an old guy then. He was like middle-aged then. He's 70 years old, still working cases at 70 years old. Now, he is retired. I think he's come in and out of retirement now in these books 3 or 4 times. He's worked for a lot of different divisions in the police force. Anyway, he's retired. Renee Ballard now kind of recruits him. Now, they've got sort of a strained relationship, Renee Ballard, because she's sort of a young gun in the police force now. She's sort of a young cop. She started in the on the night shift, kind of. I can't remember what they called that unit she worked for in the first few Renee Ballard books. But anyway, she The Late Show. They called it The Late Show. That's what it was called. The group that she worked with in the first books. Okay, so she has now moved on to a division called the what was it called? Robbery Homicide Division. That's what it is. So she's moved on from The Late Show to the Robbery Homicide Division. It's an elite crew in the Los Angeles police force. And now she's got this sort of strange and strained relationship with Harry Bosch, who's sort of like a legendary figure in the Los Angeles police force. And so they've got to kind of put aside their resentments a little bit towards each other, which I won't get into the resentments or why they're there, because those are fleshed out in previous volumes of the 2 series. Like I said, this is a combination of the Renee Ballard series and the Harry Bosch series and the Mickey Haller. There's a lot of... Michael Connelly has written a lot of different series that all interweave together, just so you know. Now, they are all standalone novels, so you don't really need to read the previous ones to get fun out of any of the later ones. But it would be the best idea to read them all in chronological order, which I've done, because I've been collecting Harry Bosch since the 90s. I've been collecting Michael Connelly novels since probably, the 90s. So anyway, what case are they working on now? Well, Harry Bosch, there's been this case, kind of his white whale case, of an entire family that was murdered decades ago that has never been solved. They don't know. It's an unsolved case. Now, Renee is working on a case of a missing 16-year-old girl that was murdered and raped. And so she's working on that case, but she needs Harry's help. And she's like, if you're willing to give me help on this case, I will let you sort of open up this cold case of this family that was murdered decades ago that you never did solve that, and maybe we can collaborate, and maybe we can kill two birds with one stone, because there might be a possibility that these two cases are related. Anyway, that's what happens in this book. I'm not going to delve any more into the plot than that, but it involves two cases worked simultaneously: the cold case of the murdered family that happened a long time ago, and then also the rape and murder of the 16-year-old girl. And we get into a lot of interesting DNA type evidence and how DNA can be collected off of different things. Like even DNA can your fingerprint left 30 years ago can still possibly hold DNA. And so it's just interesting to get into all of the interesting nitty-gritty of the forensics that are playing out in this novel, that are when they're dealing with these cold cases that are over 30 years old. You know, it's pretty cool to see how that plays out, and to see just how the inter-office dynamics of these police forces and how competitive it can be just to solve crimes. But we've always known that with the Harry Bosch novels. I mean, ever since the first Harry Bosch novel, there's been sort of this good cop, bad cop, corrupt cop, honorable cop sort of interplay between all the characters that Harry Bosch has to sort of navigate through this world of police procedure and police corruption, and still remain like a decent dude, even though he doesn't always make the right choices. He's 70 years old in this book. He needs to just hang it up and quit, and he needs to quit getting dragged back into these cases. I don't think they're good for his health anymore, folks. I bet his blood pressure's off the chart. Anyway, I give this a solid 9 out of 10. It's just another absolutely wonderful entry into the Michael Connelly universe of Harry Bosch and Renee Ballard and Mickey Haller and all the other great characters he's created that just drift in and out of these books, and they're just awesome. One of my favorite writers of all time.